Even with baby Annie on his mother's lap, and not a single one of Doris's kids along for the ride, the car was crowded. At 16 and 14, Sissy and Ruthie might as well be adults with the length of their legs and the size of their butts. He knew better than to point that out to them. John was squeezed between his sisters and counted his blessings that at least they weren't singing, just discussing whether it was okay to find Harry Belafonte cute or not. Sissy said yes, Ruthie said no. John didn't care. "We'd appreciate that," he heard his mother say. "No problem. It'll be nice for Joseph to have the company, even if they don't get along the best," Doris responded. John knew they couldn't be talking about him. Joseph was pretty much his best friend next to Alfred the dog, so he tuned them out and watched the scenery go by. The entire ride, his eyes had been trying to adjust to the blue sky. It was unsettling to him. He'd seen blue sky before, of course, out on Niner Hill, or when they'd gone to Shawnee Forest for picnics, but it still made him feel itchy and out of sorts, so he focused on the shadows the trees were casting on the road before them. Lowering his eyes away from the sky made him feel a little better, and realizing some of the shadows looked like Roy Rogers really made him feel better. Some farther on looked like his horse Trigger, and there was Dale, and Bullet, and Brady, and everyone. It felt good to let his mind wander away from the chattering of the pairs of sisters in the car, talking about unimportant things. The Roy Rogers show, now that was important. Roy Rogers was probably the only important thing he and Joseph ever disagreed on. John wanted to be just like Roy, and shoot and sing and solve crimes like a real man. Doris wouldn't let Joseph like Roy Rogers. He could watch the show, but he couldn't look like he was enjoying it, or she'd make him turn it off. Back when Roy had been just little Lynn Sly out to Duck Run, one of his pigs had beaten one of Doris's at the Scioto County Fair, and she still held it against him. That was an excerpt from the story A Peacock on Niner Hill, where a young boy in Scioto County tries to deal with the death of his father while also losing the Roy Rogers show.